continue to scratch my head every time I see stories about nuclear talks proceeding even after this conflict, because Israel is damaging not maybe entire sites, but the percentages of these individual sites that they are knocking out appears to greatly retard any type of program that they might be able to conjure up. And I would say that negotiations would not be a relevant issue maybe for a year or two after this conflict.
All right, Dr. Bukhari, how does U.S. involvement and Donald Trump's potential decision to take military action, because he has spoken about a deadline, 2 weeks, he has said, raise concerns among the Iran, in Iran and also its proxies, which feel that there has been an American involvement now, because they could become a subject of American target?
Thank you, Maria. I think James is right. The Israeli strikes are continuously degrading these facilities. The one facility that is in question is the one that is buried underground and underneath a mountain, the Fordo facility. And so the question is whether the U.S. will go for that. My sense is that there are two things that are shaping the president's decision to give 2 weeks. One is that there seems to be some ambiguity over the technical ability to completely eliminate it, even using B-2 stealth bombers and the GBU-57, which is the massive ordnance penetrator, because the range of that massive ordnance penetrator is somewhere around 200 feet. And this is well beneath that, according to the reports that we're seeing. And mind you, no one really knows for sure the actual precise distances and whatnot, the numbers. So there is that sort of thing circulating. It was in the media. It was leaked to the media. And then there is an internal division within the president's base and party. And we've seen Steve Bannon and Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz come out publicly and sort of bring that internal debate to light. So the president has to weigh all these things in. And then the idea here is that if the Iranians are willing to accept 0% enrichment, because they're hemorrhaging pretty hard, and if they open up Fordo, fully transparent to IAEA inspections and consistent monitoring, then maybe we don't need to go down that route. But that's sort of the thinking. I really don't know if either the Americans or the Iranians know what their decision will be. They are calibrating their position as new developments take place, both on the negotiating table, both publicly and behind the scenes, and of course in the kinetic battle space.
A word also on what the IDF is claiming right now. They are saying that they have killed Saeed Izadi, and this, of course, is a key point in this conflict, because he, according to the IDF, which is the Israel Defense Force, it was one of the orchestrators of the attack, which killed around 1,200 people.
Was that question for me?
Yes.
Yeah. So look, this is pretty consistent with what Israel has been doing. And the reason why it's able to eliminate all these people, down to tier 2 and even tier 3 now, because these are operational guys. I mean, both individuals performed specific key functions underneath the command of others, like the IRGC QF commander. You're showing pictures with him standing with the assassinated IRGC QF chief Qasem Soleimani, and after that his successor Ismail Qani has been eliminated. We have word that IRGC QF intelligence commanders, both the top one and his deputy, have also been killed. So I think now they're at the operational level, and this is consistent with what we know of Israeli intelligence penetration of the Iranian regime. The interesting part here is that so far, and I could be wrong, I haven't seen any reports to this effect, so my view is that the Israelis have not struck any of the regular armed forces commanders or any of their key facilities. If anyone from the regular armed forces has been killed, it's been incidental because they weren't deliberately targeted. So that's something that is noteworthy, and there's a certain rationale behind it from the Israeli point of view.
Dr. Kamran Bukhari and James Borden, really appreciate your time here on NDTV. We are slipping into a short break. After that, we'll shift focus to what's playing out here in India, some domestic spice up which is happening in Bihar politics.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand.
गोल्ड प्लस ऑप्टिमिस्टिक रिफ्लेक्टिव ग्लास लगाओ, धूप की गर्मी को दूर भगाओ और बिजली का बिल भी बचाओ।
News is not just headlines, it is what impacts you. And news should never be mistaken for noise. What matters is the reality. Accurate, in-depth, and with the right perspective. For over 20 years, I have been a journalist, and never has clarity mattered more than now. At Newsnight, we go beyond the surface. We dissect the details, challenge the narratives, and bring you the unparalleled clarity you deserve in a world clouded by misinformation. We are bold, we are direct. Newsnight, for the news in your interest. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Why was there a hurry? Was it the government that was in a hurry?
I don't want to blame anyone.
Joining us today here in the NDTV newsroom.
Government cannot walk away from this responsibility.
Cricket is region of sort in this country.
Would you like to comment on what happened?
What is the condition of the injured at this point? How many people died?
What exactly happened? You have lost your daughter.
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you, it matters to India. It matters to India. And it matters to me. And it matters to me.
India Matters with Shivaru. Only on NDTV 24/7.
How often have you turned away from debates that descend into endless fights? We bring you a show where every question is answered, where every debate finds its resolution, where every story finds its conclusion, where opinions collide but facts prevail, where stories unfold with insights and trust. When the noise ends, on June 20th, the Prime Minister visited Siwan and laid the foundation stone for several projects worth nearly 10 crore. Prime Minister Modi's visit to Bihar, this time, that was yesterday, was his fourth visit ahead of the upcoming elections, which will take place between October and November. During his visit, he slammed the RJD and the Congress, saying that the alliance was only concerned with the family, while the NDA, which is of the JDU, the BJP and other smaller parties, LJP and others, prioritizes Sabka Saath and Sabka Vikas. He also slammed Lalu Yadav for a picture which in fact showed that B.R. Ambedkar was being placed at the former Bihar Chief Minister's feet. Of course, this triggered responses from both Lalu and Tejaswi, with Lalu saying that it was raining jumlas in Bihar, while Tejaswi Yadav blasted the Prime Minister for using public funds for personal program. With elections approaching closer in Bihar, let's take a look at the winning chances of the NDA and the Mahagathbandhan. So far, both have not decided their seat sharing arrangements. So no formula which has been worked out so far. So let's take a look at what are the factors which will be at play in these elections. Right here on this wall, and I'll ask the producer to put that up right here. You can see it. The question is, will Nitish Kumar and Prime Minister Modi's joint magic work? The question is, will Nitish actually take center stage during the campaigning, or will it be Prime Minister Modi-led campaign in Bihar? And what will be the role of Chirag Paswan? Will Chirag Paswan actually energize the Dalit voters? Remember, he played a massive role, in fact, to cut chances of the JDU in the previous elections, that was 2020, where he said that he's the Hanuman of Prime Minister Modi. The role of Chirag Paswan's LJP becomes important, shifting focus now to other players in this battle for Bihar. The question is, will the RJD, which has so far relied on MY, which is Muslim and Yadav, which actually managed to take them beyond the threshold, actually ensure that there is an expansion of this vote bank? Can it go beyond the MY, the usual, the tried and tested formula or the vote combination which voted RJD to power in multiple elections before 2005? Let's look at other factors which are important here. What are the seat sharing dilemmas, which is both in the NDA and the Mahagathbandhan side? Because the NDA certainly is hoping that they would be trying to get more tickets, more seats, which is the BJP should contest on more number of seats in comparison to the JDU, because JDU's strike rate was really poor in the 2020 elections. So now let's focus on what do you think will be the big challenge. The challenge certainly will be, will Nitish Kumar and Prime Minister Modi's joint magic work? That is the big question. The challenge is also that Bihar politics so far has been extremely entrenched in coalition. It is the NDA which is presently in power, the JDU, BJP, the LJP. There are smaller parties of Jitan Ram Manjhi and others which are working together. No party so far has consistently crossed the 30% vote share on its own. So all of them need some extra players to ensure that they cross that threshold which is needed to form the government. Nitish Kumar's JDU continues to play the kingmaker because he brings that crucial 6%, and that is the reason why perhaps Nitish Kumar continues to be the chief minister despite the BJP winning more number of seats than the JDU. The question is also that Bihar, remember, as a state votes very differently in the assembly elections and the Lok Sabha polls. During the Lok Sabha polls, they vote overwhelmingly for brand Narendra Modi. We have seen election after election, 2014, 2019, 2024, and now let's see how it plays out. And economically backward classes, which is the EBCs, actually intensely are being wooed by these alliances. Both of them are working extensively for this very crucial constituency, which are the EBCs. Women have always been the swing factor or the X factor in elections in Bihar. Multiple seasons, you would have seen it. Every time there is an election, one party or the other tries to woo this very crucial constituency, which is the women constituency. Let's bring in Zafar Islam, who is the BJP spokesperson. Pawan Verma is representing Jan Suraj and a prominent Bihari himself. I can see Sanjay Kumar joining us as well, of CSDS. Pawan Verma, starting with you, what do you think is working? And what are the factors, according to you, which is at play in Bihar this time around? 3 months to go though, sir. So there are a lot of ifs and buts.
Maria, I think it's very plain that a new force has emerged in Bihar, called Jan Swaraj, led by Prashant Kishore. I say this because the 13 crore people of Bihar are literally impatient for change. And for the last 30 years, it has been the same set of players using the same cards of dharma, jati, caste, religion, who have been coming to power and using the people of Bihar as cannon fodder, holding the state to ransom so that 30 years after Nitish Lalu, Bihar is exactly where it was 30 years ago, the poorest and the most backward state in the country. Maria, 57% of Bihar lives in unacceptable poverty and 1/3 below the poverty line. Bihar has the lowest per capita income in the country, the highest unemployment, especially among the youth. Do you know that an amazing 63.9% of the women of Bihar in the age group of 15 to 49 are anemic, and about 42% of the children are stunted? This is the Bihar that has been ruled for the last 30 years with the kind of palayan or migration being of an order where women don't see their husbands, brothers or sons for except once in a year, if that. Now in such a situation, Bihar is crying out for change. And if you have seen any of the rallies currently that are going on during Prashant's Padyatra, you will see the Jan Sailab or the mass upheaval in support of this change. You have mentioned all the traditional and conventional factors in the play of Bihar politics up till now, but you have not mentioned the emergence of Jan Swaraj. And why do I say emergence? We have 1 crore registered supporters who have paid a fee to support Jan Swaraj, and the numbers are growing by 4 to 5 lakhs per day. We have 5 crore viewers of our YouTube videos. So there is a massive movement for change in Bihar, of which the Jan Swaraj party has become the symbol.
Okay, but Mr. Pawan Verma, you are saying that there is some kind of Jan Sailab for Jan Swaraj, but the larger question is that can a society which is so entrenched in caste move away from caste?
Yeah, it's a good question. And that is why I say to you that initially over a 2-year Padyatra, which took him to 5,000 villages, this message is straightforward, Maria, that you have been used to support parties who have done nothing for you on the basis of what you mentioned, caste or religion. Now it's time to vote for your own well-being, for your children, for their education, for stopping migration, for transformationally changing Bihar. Now by sheer repetition and by the personal repo of a 2-year-long unbroken Padyatra, the formation of the party, followed by the second phase of the Badlav Yatra now, and the response it is getting, you can see the videos yourself. I don't have to provide you proof. People are coming out and saying enough of this caste, we want to rise above it. We want to rise above this usual division on the basis of religion, where out of the fear of the RJD, people vote for BJP, and out of the fear of the BJP, the Muslims vote for the RJD. This syndrome has to be short-circuited for foundational change. This is being understood by the people of Bihar. That's why I say that now there is a trikord fight, a trilateral fight. There is the NDA, there is Nitish Kumar, incidentally, is finished. And I think my good friend Zafarul Islam also knows it. He won't be chief minister after this election. He is unwell, quite frankly, and is being propped up by the BJP. as far as the RJD is concerned, there is a great fracturing of Yadav votes and Muslim votes, and it has to yet finish its alliance with the Congress.
So
then the Jan Swaraj is the only party which is saying no alliances. We are fighting on our own, and we hope to win on our own without compromising for opportunistic reasons on principles. We believe that Bihar needs change, and the people of Bihar want change. So I think we have gone beyond just caste.
Okay. So is Bihar really ready for that change? Perhaps Sanjay Kumar, we are looking at elections in 3 months' time. Is it really going to be a triangular contest as Pawan Verma would like us to believe, or will it be a bipolar contest as Bihar has usually seen?
Maria, I think if you go by, if you watch what is happening in Bihar, at this moment it is true that Jan Swaraj Party is getting some attraction. I am using the word very, very carefully, some attraction. But I don't think it is to the tune of making Bihar electoral contest a triangular contest. My own sense is that yes, when a new party comes up, few months before election or maybe a year before election, there is an attraction. There is an attraction among the youth. But as we move closer to the date of election, as we move closer to the day of polling, my own sense is that as soon as voters start realizing that Jan Swaraj Party may not be in a position to form the government, it may at best play a role of a spoiler in some constituencies, and in some constituencies they might win a few seats here and there. When that situation arises and when that start becoming clearer to the voter, then we might see shifting of these supporters of Jan Swaraj who are now rallying behind Prashant Kishore. They might shift to their traditional party, whether it would be NDA or RJD. So my own sense is that yes, at this moment we see kind of a huge crowd being drawn by Prashant Kishore, but as soon as we move closer to the day of election, it will be again a bipolar contest. I don't see Bihar election moving in the direction of a triangular contest.
Okay, so if Prashant Kishore is a factor in Bihar politics right now, then Zafar Islam, is he really a headache for you?
Well, Maria,
because he is questioning Nitish Kumar a lot, and he is also saying that Nitish Kumar is ailing and he is really a misfit chief minister.
Well, Maria, let me tell you very candidly that as far as India is concerned, we are a very formidable bloc. And neither the triangular nor bipolar is absolutely no contest as far as India is concerned, as far as Bihar is concerned. I heard Mr. Pawan Verma spoke about Jan Swaraj Party, and of course he has to speak because he has now become a chief spokesperson of Jan Swaraj Party, so he has no other option but to speak something nice about his party. But he also knows he is a seasoned politician.
It's not because of any compulsion.
No, I'm saying, Mr. Verma, please hear me. I'm saying that you have compulsion because you are a chief spokesperson. You are not going to criticize your own party. You have to pretend something which actually does not exist. You know the truth. Truth is something.
I'm not pretending, sir.
You know it well. I mean, let me tell you the truth, and I'm sure that it will bother you. But fact is that the ground reality is such that you know that, as Mr. Sanjay Kumar is very rightly said, that little bit of support, crowd attraction is always there in Bihar. But as the election gets closer to the polling date, people decide which is the political party they have to support. And we know for sure that NDA, as at this point in time, we don't see any contest either from RJD or ND bloc or for that matter Jan Swaraj Party, for that matter any other party.
Okay.
We are going to win 2/3 comfortably, number of seats, 2/3 comfortably,
so
and we'll form the government.
Question to Sanjay Kumar
as far as
in Bihar, it's about arithmetic
concerned,
as much as it is about other factors. Sanjay Kumar, as of today, how are the cards stacked?
Sorry, I couldn't get the question right.
I mean, it's about pure arithmetic here, sir. Nitish Kumar brings 6%. We know the additional elements which are like LJP and other smaller parties. When we look at these two alliances, the battle of alliances, how are the numbers stacked up?
More or less. If you're talking about the electoral arithmetic, if we go by votes polled by different parties and where do they stand, in which whether they are with ND or whether they are with Mahagathbandhan, it looks like as if it is heading for a tight contest between the two alliances. That's what I can say at this moment in terms of popularity rating of the Chief Ministerial candidate. Yes, Tejasvi Yadav is getting attraction. Nitish Kumar popularity is going down. But if you look at the the support base of political party individually, I think BJP is getting a lot of attraction. I've never seen BJP getting so much of attraction in the past 30 years. So my own sense is that at this moment, as a single party, maybe BJP is seen as the front runner, RJD number 2, JD number 3, JDU number 3. But the two alliances, the strength seems to be more or less equal.
Maria, 10 seconds, please.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Varma.
Maria, 10 seconds.
Yes, Zafar Bhai, go ahead.
All I'm trying to tell you that when I say that there is absolutely no competition, there is this RJD and a Congress party. If you think that the ND bloc is a formidable opposition to NDA government, then you are absolutely wrong, because they themselves are fighting. RJD doesn't want to give them enough number of seats to Congress party. Congress party wants a major number of seats, and this discussion will definitely result into a split between the two parties, and they will not fight together.
Okay, Anwar Pasha.
The
Professor
aspiration
Pasha,
of Congress is very
Professor
high,
Pasha, will you be able to expand your vote base beyond the traditional MY?
Sure. I think there is our leader has already said that our party is not only the party of MY, our party is a party of A to Z. So people from all castes, all sections of the societies, they are with us, with our RJD. And we are quite sure that we will expand our base, and we are going to form our government on our, the Mahagathbandhan government is going to form a government there in Bihar. It's quite clear. Everyone knows it. Because Nitish Kumarji, we all know, as rightly some of our panelists have said, that he is not physically fit to lead the state in the coming, after coming election. BJP is not going to tolerate Modi ji at all. So they have made it clear time and again, our leader, the supremo of BJP,
when you say you have expanded beyond MY, what is this addition? Can we get into the specifics, please, Mr. Pasha? What is the additional vote bank that you're talking about? Who is voting for the RJD Congress?
This election is going to be a very decisive election for Bihar.
Yes.
This election will decide whether Bihar will remain secular state or not. Where the forces of social justice will continue their struggle in Bihar for the social justice. This is going to be a fight between the communal forces and secular forces, the forces of social justice, and forces who believe in Manuvadi Vyavastha.
No, I've heard the same for years now. I mean, I'm just not convinced about the same social justice arguments that you keep giving. I'm asking a specific question. Please respond. What is the addition X factor that Tejasvi Yadav is bringing in this election?
Social justice is the core of our party.
Yes, very good. What is it that you are bringing extra on this on the table?
And we have shown it. In last 17 months, government that was with our leader Tejasvi Yadav ji as Deputy CM, we achieved it. We achieved it, and we have already given us the. We increased the number of this reservation in Bihar on the basis of the data of the caste, counting. You can call it caste survey, not caste census. So we have asked the central government to include it into the Schedule 9th. Till now, neither Modi ji has accepted it, nor our Chief Minister, Shri Nitish Kumar ji, has put pressure on central government.
Sanjay Verma, this exactly is my question. Here is Tejasvi Yadav who, emphasizes on the youth, because Bihar has a very, very young population, and interestingly, the first-time voters, the percentage of first-time voters is going to be very high. They have no memory of the Lalu Yadav, Rabri Devi regime. For them, it is about these 20 years of Nitish Kumar. Do you think when the Prime Minister or the JDU leaders speak about Jungle Raj, it will be a factor, or will the people now say, show us your report card, what you have done, forget about what happened 20 years ago, we were not even born? Sanjay Kumar, sir, that's a question for you. Sanjay sir, if you heard me.
Sorry, Maria.
Yes.
Yeah. So, no, we have seen that happening in 2020 assembly elections as well. If you remember, Maria, 2020 assembly election, the RJD and the Mahagathbandhan came very close to winning the election. And what was the reason? What was the one factor? I think one of the several factors, but a most important factor was that RJD got a lot of youth vote, and Tejas Yadav campaigned very hard on the issue of unemployment, and this is an issue, this is a burning issue of the youths of Bihar. So a lot of people, and if you're talking about that age group, so if you look at who are these youth, these are in the age group of 18 to 25. So RJD has got a lot of attraction of the young voters in the past assembly election. I have no doubt that in this election, they will also, RJD will be a front runner when it comes to the young voter. But as Pawan Verma ji has already mentioned, Jan Swaraj is also getting a lot of attraction among the young voters. So young voter, which is a very large section of the total voters of Bihar, is going to be a very important component among the voters, and all parties are eyeing for the votes of the young voters.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Syed Zafar Islam, Professor Anwar Pasha, Pawan Verma and Sanjay Kumar. Today is the World Yoga Day, and Prime Minister Modi participated in yoga celebrations. Yoga Sangam 2025 was seen as a grand initiative by the Ministry of Ayush, with over 1 lakh venues and millions joining in this celebration of breath, body and unity. Here's that story.
This year, Yoga Day goes indoors. The theme of the year is Yoga at home and Yoga with family. कोरोना के बावजूद इस बार की योग दिवस की थीम योगा फॉर वेलनेस ने करोड़ों लोगों में योग के प्रति उत्साह को और भी बढ़ाया है।
जब संयुक्त राष्ट्र में भारत ने प्रस्ताव रखा कि 21 जून को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस के रूप में मान्यता मिले, और तब कम से कम समय में दुनिया के 175 देश हमारे इस प्रस्ताव के साथ खड़े हुए। आज की दुनिया में ऐसी एकजुटता, ऐसा समर्थन सामान्य घटना नहीं है।
Now people are becoming mentally sick. They are becoming problem for their families, for the society. If everybody will practice yoga, then at least that calmness and also good things will happen for them, for the society. Always I am saying, one should practice yoga and do positive things. You will have a positive energy.
सब जगह पर आज का इंटरनेशनल योगा डे मना रहे, और ये एक्सपीरियंस एक दिन का नहीं होना चाहिए, हर दिन का होना चाहिए, ताकि ये आज के ज़माने में बहुत लाइफस्टाइल चेंज हुई है, प्रेशर है, स्ट्रेस है लोगों में, और योगा की वजह से उनका स्वास्थ्य अच्छा होगा।
I think today in Visakhapatnam, the message that the Honorable Prime Minister gave was of utmost importance, that we need to move from inner peace to outer peace and global peace. And I think that is the need of the hour today.
Yoga has been very, very instrumental in shaping a lot of my life, and I feel practice on my mat genuinely makes me happy. It centers me, it gives me focus, all of that. So yes, I would give a lot of credit to yoga in my life.
मेरे ख्याल से मोदी जी ने शुरू किया है और इससे पहले हमारे रामदेव जी भी ने शुरू करवाया, और कई लोग बाहर के मुल्क के लोग इसे पेटेंट करना चाहते थे, जो होने नहीं दिया। ये हमारी सभ्यता, हमारी तहजीब पुराना चला आ रहा है सदियों से।
My grandfather was a yoga teacher, so I've seen that happening all my life. I practice yoga and I can see the world, see the atmosphere all over the place, how people are. It's a very important message, not only for physical health but also for mental health.
This year, Yoga Day goes indoors. The theme of the year is Yoga at home and Yoga with family. कोरोना के बावजूद इस बार की योग दिवस की थीम योगा फॉर वेलनेस ने करोड़ों लोगों में योग के प्रति उत्साह को और भी बढ़ाया है।
As the Israel-Iran war escalates, pushing the world to the brink, I report live from ground zero to bring you an exploding conflict firsthand. As the Israel-Iran war escalates, pushing the world to the brink, I report live from ground zero to bring you an exploding conflict firsthand. As the Israel-Iran war escalates, pushing the world to the brink, I report live from ground zero to bring you an exploding conflict firsthand.
तू ही तो है जिसकी सच्चाई वाली क्लैरिटी की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ हूँ।
गोल्ड प्लस सिल्वॉक्सी मिरर्स, ऐसी क्लैरिटी कि आपको सिर्फ सच नजर आए, चाहे कितने भी साल बीत जाएं।
If it matters to you, if it matters to you, if it matters to you.
This is the latest in the F-35, which is stranded in India for the last 1 week. Sources say that British crew is in fact now en route Kerala to inspect this jet. NDTV now reports from inside Israel. Israel strikes Isfahan, a nuclear site again. IDF says that 50 jets bombed Iranian targets. This is the latest in The murder case of honeymoon in Meghalaya, Sonam Raghuvanshi and her boyfriend Raj has been now sent to 13 days of judicial custody. DGCA now cracks the whip on Air India. Air India will remove 3 officials over safety lapse. Air India says that it is committed to ensuring safety protocols. The last video of businessman Sanjay Kapoor surfaces. He is seen as getting CPR at the UK Polo Ground. Pakistan nominates Donald Trump for 2026 Nobel Peace Prize. Trump says, "Won't get Nobel no matter what I do." Hello everyone, this is Left, Right and Centre and I'm Maria Shakil. Once again, Pushpa 2 is at the centre of a political controversy. But this time, the star cast in this row are none other than former Andhra Chief Minister and YSRCP Chief Jagan Mohan Reddy and the current Chief Minister and TDP Supremo Chandrababu Naidu. The controversy erupted when in a YSRCP rally, the party supporters were seen carrying placards with the dialogue Rappa Rappa, a dialogue which is used in Pushpa 2 in association with a violent scene actually surfaced there. As a retort to YSRCP's Rappa Rappa, Chandrababu Naidu did not hesitate and said that the placard exposes YSRCP's criminal mindset. Before I go to the guests, here's a quick wrap-up and listen in to what TDP leader and Andhra Minister Nara Lokesh had to say.
Rappa Rappa has become a controversy now, but does that also reflect the level of debate here? Because attacks in many senses are quite personal in Andhra Pradesh. They are very sharp, they are very personal as well, whether it's on social media or leaders talking about each other.
I mean, if you look at it, we've never taken a shot below the belt. We've never dealt it like that. We've always been respectable about the Honourable former Chief Minister and Pulivendal MLA. We never ever did anything to defame him or his family. We would always speak about the issue. When our Karyakarta knowingly or unknowingly put a post against Jagan Mohan Reddy's wife, we took action. He went to judicial remand. He went to jail. Did Jagan Mohan Reddy ever take an action like that? When my mom was offended, when my wife was insulted, when I was personally insulted, his own MLAs, his own MPs, his own ministers used foul language against public representatives, against people. Did he take ever an action? And today the sad part is he's saying there's nothing wrong with a flexi. That means he's promoting violence.
Are you planning legal action on that? Will police register a case?
Already case has been registered. The people who have held those flexis are in police custody.
That man is not from your party?
He's absolutely not from my party. He's not.
The photographs that have been put out saying that he's a member of the Telugu Desam, is that right?
It's been morphed. It is nowhere, he has nothing to do with Telugu Desam party because Telugu Desam party Karyakartas are never like that. If Telugu Desam party Karyakartas are so violent, do you think Jagan Mohan Reddy can step out of his house? Do you think it's so easy for him to go around? Our leader, Mr. Naidu, has taught us that we have to be disciplined, we have to be focused on public issues, and that we are. And that is why we won with 94% of the seats. And that is why today, Pulivendal MLA doesn't even have leader of opposition status.
Karthik is the national spokesperson of YSRCP. Deepak Reddy is national spokesperson of TDP. Karthik, who is really provoking the other political party? If it's not you.
Well, they are provoking, and that is quite evident in the whole scenario because Ms. Lokesh is actually lied so blatantly in the previous video because he was telling he's not from TDP. I have the membership card right in my hand, and this is the membership ID card, the number that he belongs to TDP. And I've got photographs in the hand saying that, he's from TDP. This is purely deployed. And we're not for theatrics here. We talk facts. We're not for sensationalization.
10 minutes.
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please, Karthik, go ahead.
Yeah, and the same gentleman who just spoke, Ms. Lokesh, is actually holding the Red Book Constitution, which is clearly shown here. So, what's happening in the state? And they're talking about our leaders are not provocative. The speaker of the assembly, Mr. Ayan Patradu, he's actually telling Jagan is lost, but he's not killed. This is a proof that he was talking in a private affair. And the very old gentleman who happened to be one of the old MLAs is yesterday telling that we chopped the heads of the opposition parties. And this is on record. This is not about sensationalization. Let's bring some sensitivity to the conversation. We're not for theatrics. We're not for cinema dialogues. And this is something which, this is actually lying on the, the Red Book Constitution, which is happening in the state of Andhra Pradesh, where they have actually given a big hoardings in the state. What's happening? That is why we have documented a 160 to 70 pages saying that what's deception versus trust. And seeing all this, TDP is
my question is also, Karthik, that if there is a legitimate action, for example, in the liquor scam, you are seeing that as revenge, you're calling that as vindictive politics, rather than looking at problems which existed during the previous regime. If there are certain corruption allegations, that has to be responded to rather than being dismissed as pure vindictive politics.
I beg your pardon. That's why. Don't call it a scam. It's not a scam yet. There is a judicial process. Do not declare that as a scam, please. We've been repeatedly telling that. I have one straight question. When the same SIT, who is now probing Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy and the rest of the team, the same SIT has put the Honorable Chief Minister today, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, as A3. What's happening? What did change? So the same SIT is was probing Mr. Chandrababu Naidu as A3, and now, if this is not vindictive, they're false alleging people, Mr. Chevre Bhaskar Reddy and others who are nowhere related to this whole, thing is now sent to jail without, any causation notices. They've been withheld just without giving notices. What's happening in the state? There are about 2,600
Please respond to all the charges coming in, Deepak Ganapati.
Maria, truth is a very big casualty when it comes to YCP. So hence, a little bit of time need to be given so that I put the facts forward. I would like to show a 5-second video where Lokesh Ji was actually, Lokesh Ji was doing a Padayatra before the elections. You can see the euphoria in the people when they say, once the meeting gets over, the euphoria is Psycho has to go and Cycle has to come. So the people of Andhra Pradesh were fed up with him, and they did not give that party an opposition status, and they threw them out of power with just only 11 MLAs. Not just this one flexi. I would like to show this. More than 5-6 flexis. Another one says, we are not going to get in Indian constitution. We are going to get his grandfather, Raja Reddy's constitution in. And once we come to power, we are going to hunt each one of you guys down. So this kind of a provocative 5 different flexis were put out. And another thing I would like to show, their karyakartas going in the village with swords. Look at this. Can you believe this? Can you see them running around with the swords, with their flags? So this family, if you see earlier, Chandrababu Naidu ji has clearly said Jagan Mohan Reddy was Pablo Escobar. But he is a man with, he's a combination of political crime, corruption, and you can say the drug mafia put together in one. So that is the reason. That is the reason the people of Andhra Pradesh have totally thrown that party out, not giving them even an opposition status. So now the shocking thing is, Jagan Mohan Reddy comes on air and says that particular person belongs to TDP, but now he's attracted towards me. What he spoke is nothing wrong. He comes on air and says that. Purely supporting violence. And the pleasure you can see coming out of him, with brutally, if they are being killed, like how the goats are killed in Gangama Jatara, that's okay, it seems. So, look at the mentality. So he's taken the state 20 years behind. And now Chandrababu Naidu ji has put out a strong message today. We are not going to tolerate this kind of a behavior by anybody with ill political motives, and we are going to take stringent action. So this kind of a political drama to take back Andhra Pradesh will not be tolerated, is a message which has been given in a very stringent manner.
Karthik, we have invariably seen that the party which has been in power, when it goes and occupies the opposition space, they try and look at ways to return. That's all right. That's good politics. But it's also about giving an alternative. What is it that you're offering or you can offer to the people of Andhra Pradesh which has not been already given or being planned by Chandrababu Naidu?
So the equation is very clear. They keep bringing up the 11 seats. The percentage of vote share is rock solid, which is 40%, is about 40%. Let's not forget that number. And then twisting the arm of alliance is not very far by the people of Andhra Pradesh. The whole question here is they've given promises worth 1,70,000 crores, where none of that is getting fulfilled. You take any number. So we spent 300 crores just for Arogyasri, spending 3,600 crores a annum. None of that. Everything is in halt. They spent 300 crores today just for Yoga Day program. And I don't know if the sentiments and the efforts of the government are actually elsewhere. They're not for the development. What's happening in the state? We're not understanding. There are about 2,466 cases registered so far, which never happened. 300 plus murders have happened. There are about 720 social media activists were
numbers coming from you. If these are not registered cases, then why should we believe you either?
It's on record. They can challenge it. That's the whole point here. We come with tons of data every time. They choose sensationalization all the time over sensitivity. That's why they came in and say that all of the cinema dialogues rappa rappa, and that's not what Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy has said himself. The journalists were asking this is what had happened, and he's actually taking the information, and that's all what happened. That did not come from Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy. That's on record.
To another story now. Go ahead.
Sorry, come back again.
Deepak Ganpati, please go ahead.
Yeah, Maria, you can see him using those words and justifying, saying that that particular boy was earlier in TDP, but now he's with us. He likes us, and you can see there people running around with swords. This is the culture. This family has 3 generations of violence and blood on their hand. And anybody from Andhra knows their background. What is shocking is, after Jagan Mohan Reddy becoming the CM this time, they have taken corruption to a level which cannot be comprehended by anybody in India. The Delhi liquor case is like a child's play. They have siphoned off more than 30 to 40,000 crores in the liquor case. And every day, some scam or the other keeps coming out.
There is no any relation between...
Please, one second, let me complete. Some scam or the other keeps coming out every day. And Jagan Mohan Reddy feels that his time is numbered and he would be going to jail. And that is why now he's trying to create a law and order issue and instigate people. But my request is, don't fall into the trap because you would get arrested.
All right.
Please follow.
Deepak Ganpati and Karthik, really appreciate your time. We are shifting focus to another story now. And this is the latest in the ongoing Israel-Iran war. Israel has now said that it has taken 2 top Iranian commanders, Saeed Izzadi, who is the head of Quds Forces Palestine Corps, in a targeted strike on an apartment in Qom. Izzadi was reportedly behind Hamas' October 7th attack on Israel. Israeli officials call his killing a major intelligence win. Behnam Shehryari, who is the commander of Quds Forces weapons transfer, was eliminated in a precise IDF strike in western Iran, is again a claim which is coming in from the Israelis. And this comes amidst the deadliest phase yet, over 430 killed in Iran, 24 civilians dead in Israel, and a massive aerial strike on both the sides. Tehran has confirmed 5 Revolutionary Guards killed, but has not named Izzadi so far. Iran also claims that 3 hospitals and 6 ambulances were hit by Israeli strikes. Meanwhile, Israeli air defenses lit up Tel Aviv's skies overnight as Iran launched fresh missiles. President Trump has said, remember, that he'll wait for 2 weeks before deciding if the US will join this conflict, which came as a warning to Iran. Diplomatic hopes are now dim. Iran has said that it won't negotiate under fire, and talks in Geneva have not yielded any breakthrough so far.
Israel has claimed responsibility for the targeted killing of 2 top Iranian commanders as hostilities between the 2 regional powers escalated sharply. Israeli Defense Minister announced that Saeed Izadi, the head of the IRGC's Quds Force Palestine Corps, was killed in a precision strike on an apartment in Qom. Behnam Shahryari, commander of the Quds Force's Weapons Transfer Unit in the IRGC, was eliminated in a precise IDF strike in western Iran. Katz called the killing a major achievement for Israeli intelligence, accusing Izadi of financing and arming Hamas ahead of the 7th of October 2023 assault. The Iranian Revolutionary Guards confirmed 5 of its members died in Israeli attacks, but did not mention Izadi. Meanwhile, Iranian media quoted a 16-year-old was killed in the Qom strike and accused Israel of targeting the Isfahan nuclear facility. Officials have said there was no radioactive leakage. The Israeli military has said that it has launched fresh airstrikes on missile sites within Iran, hours after warning of a new missile barrage from Tehran. Explosions lit up the skies over Tel Aviv as air defense systems intercepted incoming missiles. Iran's close aide to the supreme leader, Ali Shamkhani, confirmed he survived an Israeli attack. Meanwhile, Iran named 15 of its air defense personnel killed in recent days. In Israel, 24 civilians have died. Amidst the violence, diplomatic efforts remain stalled. Iran has said that it will not negotiate under Israeli aggression. Still, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi traveled to Geneva for talks with European officials.
Iran is ready to consider diplomacy once again, and once aggression is stopped and the aggressor is held accountable for the crimes committed. In this regard, I made it crystal clear that Iran's defense capabilities are not negotiable.
As long as it takes. That's the answer. As long as it takes, because we face an existential danger, a dual existential danger. One from 20,000 such rockets, 20,000, not one. This is one rocket, one missile. And the other is, of course, atomic bombs in the hands of this mad regime.
At the UN, Israel vowed to continue its campaign until Iran's nuclear threat is dismantled. Iran in turn called for immediate Security Council action. Russia and China have demanded de-escalation. As diplomacy falters and military actions mount, the region remains on a knife's edge. With Rhythm Arcadia, Bureau Report, NDTV.
And US President Donald Trump, remember, has made no bones about coveting a Nobel Peace Prize. He brought up the award again while reiterating his claim of ending hostilities between India and Pakistan, an assertion which has been rejected by the Modi government. Trump has mentioned the Nobel Peace Prize dozens of times publicly, be it in his speeches, interviews, or campaign rallies. After failing to get the award in his first term, his obsession with the prestigious award has returned. The Pakistan government today said that it has decided to formally recommend US President Donald Trump for the 2026 Nobel Peace Prize for his, within quotes, decisive diplomatic intervention during the recent India-Pakistan conflict. This comes as Trump claimed to have mediated between India and Pakistan to bring the two parties to a ceasefire after during Operation Sindoor. Trump, in fact, took to Truth Social and he lamented that he won't get a Nobel Peace Prize for stopping the war between India and Pakistan or for his efforts in the Russia-Ukraine and Israel-Iran conflicts. But why does Donald Trump desire the Nobel Peace Prize so strongly? Joining me on the show, David Sofer is Republican strategist. He's joining me from Washington, D.C. We have Raymond Vickery, former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Commerce, joining me from Washington, D.C. as well. David, beginning with you, why is the U.S. president seeking validation so badly?
Thank you very much for having me. And first of all, President Trump has, as controversial as he may seem in the eyes of the global community, which are the administrators of the Nobel Peace Prize, it's very important to understand what he has done. And he has achieved peace in the Middle East during his first presidency, which was a very important thing. He did not get the Nobel Peace Prize then. He also now has done several steps for peace in the world, which is a huge thing. Not only diffusing the situation in Pakistan and India, which both countries, both democracies, more importantly, have a storied and complex relationship with. Now, it's important to say that a conservative has not won the Nobel Peace Prize since 1975, okay? And they awarded it to Barack Obama, former president of the United States, before he even served term for allegedly creating peace in the world or whatever they gave. Now, when you look who's on there, who's on the actual board of there, and the panel who's on there, it's no surprise that they are never Trumpers. They are, they have a liberal bias, especially in these modern times. So if we get the Peace Prize or not, we will strive to bring peace through strength and democracy throughout the world, especially in these trying times. So it's about diplomacy really does die in darkness, and not having the conversations with countries like Pakistan or Russia or Barack Obama's friends, the Iranians. They're not our friends. When we cease these discussions, that's when true peace,
But
which
David,
we strive for in our
we
party.
have not seen any world leader, openly speak about Nobel Peace Prize the way Donald Trump has done. Barack Obama, when he got it in 2009, correct me, when he spoke about, when Donald Trump,
I agree with you. No, sure, we have not seen any world leader speak about how he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yes.
But in such a short amount of time, because remember, this is his second presidency, we have not had a world leader that has achieved so much for global peace and actual domestic
Raymond
peace as well. So it literally is, I'll say it again for all of your viewers and all of my friends on the left and on the right and on the center, that we are the party of peace through strength and the party of peace and prosperity.
Sure, we get that.
Globally and domestically.
Raymond Vickery, in recent times, Nobel Peace Prize has been one of the most controversial prizes that we have seen, and the fact here is that there is an entire US administration which is working, lobbying perhaps for this, for Donald Trump to get this. He himself took to Truth Social only last evening and mentioned the prestigious award some 6 times, and he listed a variety of reasons why he should get the award. Do you think the jury would be looking at that Truth Social comment? Or do you think it will not work at all? Because there is another aspect of this, because he says and he claims that he played a role in India-Pakistan conflict, and which has been vehemently denied by India. And Indian Prime Minister has communicated the same to Donald Trump, that he had no role whatsoever. And India never sought and will never seek any third-party mediation.
Well, thanks very much for having me. Peace, like war, must be waged continuously and with partners. Unfortunately, President Trump doesn't take that approach at all. He has promised that he would end Gaza problem on day one. He's promised that he would end Ukraine, Russia. He promised about no new wars during the campaign, and none of this has come to pass. The way in which to wage peace is not by seeking out an award. It is by working with others to try to put into place the rule of law institutions which can uphold peace. And this is unseemly drive to try to get recognition for something that he hasn't done is not the way to go about this. It is really an embarrassment, it seems to me. Now, I think the world should be glad that President Trump shows some tendencies to not resort to military action as a first reaction from his point of view. But make no mistake about it, his approach to international relations is a transactional one. It is what's in it for me, what can be done to seek my aggrandizement. This is all a piece of what is happening domestically as our form of government is attacked with disrespect for the courts, with claiming victories where they're not really victories, but simply a backing off from problems which he has created. One hopes that he might listen a little bit to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan used to say, "It's amazing how much you can get done and accomplished if you don't care who gets the credit for it." That's not his approach at all, and one wonders where all this leads if the whole point of the president's action is to make him look like a world-class leader.
Okay. David, invariably, the United States is appearing to be aligning with aggressors in multiple conflicts. I mean, if you look at that almost bullying which happened right inside the Oval Office of Zelensky, the Ukrainian Prime Minister, one would say that is Donald Trump really expecting peace prize for being with the aggressors, and rather than backing those who are victims of this conflict?
Let's look. At the end of the day, let's back up to the first administration of Trump. There wasn't any wars at all. We inherited a mess through an incompetent party that should never have been there in the first place. Okay. Secondly, America is in a great place. We have inflation down. We have crimes way down. They've cleaned up the Democrats' open border policy. We have fentanyl deaths that are way down. These are things that Democrats and Republicans both wanted. So America's in an extremely strong place. Now, peace through strength, we were communicating with everybody around the world, and it's a long road to peace. And if you look at a place like Ukraine, for example, America and this administration has done more than Europe has. They come and talk. They're still trading with the Russians and all that. So these things take time. Now with India, America certainly did have a big role in creating peace there and a lasting ceasefire. Also, Trump had the head of the Pakistani military for lunch. Now, during that lunch, it wasn't a friendly lunch. I mean, he read him the right act. So he said, if you step out of line, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And that's how it is. So the idea that, that Trump's doing a bad job or that America's in a bad place is certainly not the case.
Vikri, it's not the case that, of course, the Republicans feel that he has done a fair job. And I would say that even the Israelis would be feeling the same right now. Mr. Vikri.
Well, the job which President Trump has done is anything but good. The inflation is not down. He has not solved the inflation problem. The inflation problem that he said that he was going to solve has resulted in a militarization going against civilly elected authorities. The fact is that none of the conflicts which have been indicated in Ukraine or Gaza are ameliorated. He's tried to take credit for the ceasefire between Pakistan and India, where his role is questionable at best, after saying that there was no U.S. interest, and in fact, obviously there was in terms of trying to build peace. He completely reversed ground. Then when India had taken steps against terrorism and the situation had been somewhat rectified, he tried to claim complete credit for it. So this is all of a piece with what some have diagnosed our president as being a narcissistic maniac. And that is the way in which he is attempting to go forward. Now,
Mr. Vikri, a word on the nomination which is coming in from Pakistan. I mean, why this rush by Pakistanis to nominate him?
Well,
and it has come from the field marshal, who is responsible for, perhaps responsible for orchestrating the killing of innocents on Indian soil in Pahalgam. He is the one who has nominated Donald Trump. Should he even accept such a nomination?
Listen, the Pakistanis, for all their problems, are very good at diagnosing what works with President Trump. And what works with President Trump is to praise him, to flatter him, to say that he is the greatest of all time in order to further your own agenda. Others in the world are taking that approach as well. One hopes that great democracies like India and Europe and Japan will seek to uphold values rather than individual personalities in terms of trying to build peace and prosperity. So I view what has happened with the Pakistanis as really a very cynical approach, but one which is effective with this particular personality.
All right, Raymond Vickery and David Sofair, appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Remember, US President Donald Trump has also said that he will decide within 14 days whether to launch a strike on Iran, a pause that's raising both hopes and eyebrows. Critics have said that it's a familiar Trump playbook, which is about deadlines, walkbacks, and unpredictability. This time, though, the stakes are nuclear. Trump insists only the US can neutralize Iran's foresight, even as Israel escalates its own strikes. Here's a special report by Arjun on the politics, pressure, and power plays by Donald Trump.
What's the thought process behind 2-week timetable? Just time to see whether or not people come to their senses. That's all it is.
14 days. That's how long President Trump has paused a decision that could ignite a war with Iran. After signaling a strike on Iran's Fordo nuclear site, Trump slammed the brakes, citing a chance at diplomacy. Critics call it taco. Trump always chickens out.
Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that.
But Trump's record says otherwise. He's set deadlines before and done nothing. Before the strikes, Trump urged Israel to hold back. After Israel hit, he called them excellent. And now he says he won't ask Israel to stop.
Well, I think it's very hard to make that request right now. If somebody's winning, it's a little bit harder to do than if somebody's losing. Many people that have reached out, many countries
Europe is pushing for talks, but Trump claims Iran wants to talk to Washington, not Europe. And his own intel director said Iran has not decided to build a bomb. Trump's response? She's wrong.
Do you have that Iran is building a nuclear weapon? Your intelligence community has said they have no evidence that they are at this point.
Well, then my intelligence community is wrong. Who in the intelligence community said that?
Your director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard.
She's wrong.
He claims Iran could have a nuke in weeks, but admits Israel cannot take out Fordo alone. Only the US has bunker busters that can. Netanyahu says they don't need them, but Israel's asking quietly for US help. Since 13th of June, Israel's strikes have reportedly killed over 200 in Iran. Iran has launched over 1,000 drones, killing at least 24 in Israel. Meanwhile, Trump says troops are the last thing you want, but his deadline stands, 14 days. And a red line that may move again.
And NDTV is now right inside the war zone. NDTV's Ankit has entered Israel through the Aqaba border. Here's a report that he sent us earlier today.
It's been a very long journey from India to reach Israel. As you remember, all the airports are shut. Through Jordan, we have made our way, and it's a very tedious process. The security situation in Israel is very, very, on high alert at this moment, and it took us many hours to try and go through the Aqaba crossing. I'm right now just 5 kilometers from that crossing because we are not allowed to shoot the border, near the border, and we are in Eliat. This is a small town here in Israel, and we are trying to make our way to Tel Aviv. Now, let me very quickly tell you what we have gathered so far. A new spate, a new wave of missiles from both sides. In fact, the Israeli Defense Forces have said that there were certain drones, about 40 of those which were launched by Iran, which have been shot down by the air defenses of Israel. Meanwhile, Iran also says that Israel is now attacking their civilians. Here in Israel, the security situation is on a heightened alert. Largely from where I'm in the south end of the city because all the other border crossings which are closer to Jerusalem and Tel Aviv are closed today. And we have tried to come all the way from Amman to the southern end of Israel, now making our way towards Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv and areas near that are the ones which are extremely affected. In fact, Eliat is one town where a hospital few days back we were told, was attacked by the Iranian missiles. It was targeted. Since then, in this area, at least so far, there hasn't been a major activity of drones and missiles coming in from Iran. But as you go closer to Tel Aviv, that's where the entire, damage is. It is also the main targeted area. Iranians, on the other side, have been saying that if United States now enters, because remember, Donald Trump administration has said they will take 2 weeks before they decide whether they want to jump into this conflict or not. They are saying if Donald Trump or America jumps into this conflict, this is going to be, in fact, a very long, bloody conflict that both the countries are going to endure. On the other hand, the IDF has said they are preparing for a long haul, a long conflict with Iran till the time the nuclear capabilities of Iran are absolutely wiped out. So what we are expecting here is another round. There have been, in fact, instructions given to us as soon as we cross the border to be wary of the siren. As soon as that, is sounded off, you have to leave your car, run off the highway, and, there are shelters. I will show you where I'm standing. This is a bus station, and what you see, this one is going inside a shelter, and these are the kind of shelters which are there constructed all across on the highways in Israel. So if the siren is sounded off, I will have to make my way inside one of these shelters to be till the time the siren it does not go completely is sounded off. So this is a tricky situation at this moment, as NDTV now on the ground reporting from the heart of this conflict, which has this pitched battle between Iran and Israel has in fact put the entire world on tenterhooks. And, we are right in the heart of this conflict, trying to get our viewers the latest updates here on NDTV.
As the Israel-Iran war escalates, pushing the world to the brink, I report live from ground zero to bring you an exploding conflict firsthand.
And as the Israel-Iran conflict escalates, another flight under Operation Sindhu has landed safely in Delhi, bringing back 256 Indian students. Most of them are from Jammu and Kashmir, who were stranded amidst this worsening Israel-Iran conflict. The Mahan air flight from Tehran marks the second major evacuation in 24 hours following the return of 290 students from Mashhad late Friday. And most of these evacuees looked visibly shaken but relieved after days in conflict zones with disrupted air routes and limited communication.
It was we were very scared at that time, but thanks to Indian government, हम इस टाइम घर आ रहे हैं उनकी वजह से. उस टाइम पे काफ़ी ज़्यादा डर लग रहा था कि क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा, बट अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह we were safe and all thanks to Indian government.
वहाँ पे कंडीशंस थी, थोड़ी ये सेंसिटिव कंडीशंस थी वहाँ पे, तो उस वजह से फिर हमें तभी जाके हमें जब वहाँ पे कंडीशंस ख़राब थी तभी जाके हमें यहाँ इवैक्यूएट किया, वरना ऐसे कोई नहीं इवैक्यूएशन. ये बहुत मुश्किल प्रोसेस होता है, बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट प्रोसेस होता है. सबसे ज़्यादा ये फील हो रहा था कि हम अब अगर मौत आनी है तो फैमिली से दूर क्यों आनी है. हमें बहुत सेफली, हमें बहुत सिक्योरली यहाँ पे पहुँचाया गया और हमें बिल्कुल भी मुश्किल नहीं हुई कोई.
We were suffering a lot. I mean, like the missiles and the visports and.
So did you actually see those missiles?
Yeah, we actually see the dead bodies all. Located to Qum, Tehran, Mashhad, and then to Tehran. We are traveling from last 1 week.
And in more story, sources tell NDTV, and this is with regards to the F-35, which is currently stranded in Trivandrum. British Navy crew from United Kingdom will arrive in Trivandrum with spare parts to inspect the F-35, is what sources are telling us. The UK crew will take a call on whether to move the aircraft to hangar or not after the inspection. And the new crew has come from Singapore to Trivandrum Airport.
Today happens to be 1 week since this advanced Royal Navy F-35 stealth fighter was stranded after an emergency landing last Saturday around this time in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. And now we're hearing that a 30-man crew from the Royal Navy and the British military arriving reportedly from Singapore, it's already landed apparently, will be taking a crack at fixing the aircraft. Now, at least 2 teams from the Royal Navy have so far tried and failed, to get the aircraft into the air again. Apparently, there are serious problems with the hydraulic system, possibly some kind of engine issue as well, as a result of which they've not been able to move the aircraft away. The Royal Navy also declined an offer from Air India, in fact, which we broke yesterday, Maria, to move the aircraft into a hangar. There are some sensitivities over proprietary technology, etc., as a result of which apparently the British government wants the aircraft to be out in the open as much as possible, even though the British media has completely blanked out the story. But this 30-man crew apparently arriving from Singapore will take a crack at it. And if they fail to get the aircraft serviceable again, even though they are apparently coming with spare parts and repair equipment, it is possible that they will either be able to fly the aircraft back to its aircraft carrier or to another base, or maybe even have to use a large transport aircraft to ferry the aircraft to a place where it can be serviced and maintained and made flyworthy again. But basically, this is the biggest effort 1 week later to repair and fix the aircraft to send it back home.
And India's aviation regulator has said that Air India needs to set straight its crew rostering system or face severe action, which could even include the airline losing its operator permission. In other words, its license to operate. The regulator wants 3 senior staff members responsible for crew rostering to be immediately removed from their posts, and the regulator has 3 specific concerns against these officials. They have been accused of unauthorized and non-compliant crew pairings, violation of mandatory licensing, and also systemic failures in scheduling protocol.
It seems to me that on the basis of this letter, Air India has been read the Riot Act. They've been told either fix your rostering, scheduling, and licensing issues impacting your pilots, or get ready for very serious action, which could include, question marks on your right to operate an airline. Now, this is a Tata-run company. It's one of the largest airlines, in Asia, and it given the number of orders of aircraft that it has, it'll end up being among the largest airlines on earth. After the Ahmedabad crash, to be told in clear terms that these are 3 officials, remove them, take action against them. You have broken norms when it comes to the rostering of pilots, mandatory licensing norms, and other grounds. And if you don't do this, then you face a serious problem in terms of your operation. Is very much Air India being read the Riot Act. Now, what I'd also like to share right now is that I have with me, and I'm just sort of reading it out now because I have it on my screen right now, a show cause notice which was also issued to Air India yesterday. And what you have described just now follows this show cause notice, which says that Air India operated 2 flights from Bangalore to London, AI 133 on the 16th of May and on the 17th of May, both of which exceeded the stipulated flight time limitations of 10 hours in violation of para 6.1.3 of the civil aviation requirement. So these were flights a month back, right? Not in the month of June, but a show cause notice issued to the airline saying that why are you operating these flights, right, by violating flight duty time limitations? You cannot exceed the number of hours that pilots fly. And so this was the older show cause notice, which we've now got an idea of. And now, in this order, the regulator, the DGCA, has come out with all of these guidelines saying, among other things, you are going wrong in terms of flight duty time limitations. In other words, the rostering of pilots.
All right. On that note, we are slipping into a short break. Coming up, lots more news and updates.